Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. It's your boy Lockett. 2 T's. This is That's a Bet podcast, and we're about to get this show cranking, but you know how we do. I can't ever start a show without introducing the greatest. I'm talking about the GOAT of co-hosts in all of podcast land. He goes by the name of Will Judson. I call him Willie Baby. Willie Baby, what's good with you, man?
Not too much, man. Trying to stay sharp. Getting ready to go out to the Bay Area this weekend. Yay area. Golden Gate Bridge, Oakland A's, San Francisco Giants, Golden State Warriors. I'm coming out there. So just trying to stay sharp before I hit the flight tomorrow. So.
Okay, I see you. I was wondering why you was repping the A's hat, because they damn sure didn't win me no money.
I'm getting in the mood, man. I'm going to have my hat on when I go to the dispensary too, man.
Oh, okay. Hey, you might have to send me something to the A. You know what I mean? That's going to be lit, man. But, yeah, man, I'm excited to be back again. We have another great edition of That's a Bet podcast. This is our college football edition. You know how me and Willie Baby do. We bring you that six-pack of powerful, off-the-wall picks. Because I say off-the-wall, well, I think this week, for me, I kind of went outside of my box because college, man, I don't know if you've been having this problem, but I think this college football year has just been so, like, crazy. It's been so, against the grain type of bets have been hitting. And I took that approach this week with my picks. I've been kind of curious, to ask you, like, the start of this college football season, we've been doing this for a long time. Have you seen any, like, some of the craziness as far as, for instance, Scott Van Pelt had a record of bad beats on SportsCenter. Like, just the craziness of college football. Have you seen anything kind of like this, some of the madness so far?
No, you usually see something like that over the course of a season, but for the first 3 weeks, it's been ridiculous. And I'll give you a perfect example last week. The way that overcash for the Florida and Kentucky game was just stupid. Because think about this, man. Not Will Muschamp. Dan Mullen.
Yep.
They're up, at the end of the game, and they run like a reverse with like 2 minutes left. The game is wrapped up. They run a reverse for 75 yards. Like, what are you doing, man?
Like, why?
What are you doing? And so, hey, he didn't care. Florida covered.
I didn't even get it. That call alone pissed me off.
Stupid.
What are there are like 4 or 5 things that could happen on that play alone. It could be an exchange. That's a speed sweep. You got jets. You're a fast guy. I'm pretty sure you took that play 100 times at Illinois.
Yeah.
What can go wrong, and they're running that like they just, like if something happens, they just gonna win the game easy. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there. I couldn't believe it. I text you. I was like, man, they better cover this. They handed that jet sweep, and them slow jokers from Kentucky. Are you kidding me? They was running like they was at the Kentucky Derby racetrack, and it was rained on and mud and stuff, man. Like, come on, y'all.
It made me so mad at Dan Mullen. Like, look, man, I hope Georgia beats the brakes off of you for doing this.
Man, they better down there in Jacksonville, because you know what? I kind of want to go to that game too. I was thinking about that. Any of y'all out there that got a plug at Georgia or Florida can get me into the world's largest cocktail party. Go and holler at your boy. Lockett 2 T's. Hit me up on Instagram, or just hit up Will on Instagram or Twitter. At Group 13 Sports, that's the number 13 for 13. Hit him up, or just hit us up on the show on the podcast handle at That's a Bet Podcast. Drop us a little, some free tickets. We'll take them. I definitely. My boy Will's in Houston, so catch a flight to the A. We'll drive down to Jacksonville. You know how we'll do it, but
that ain't nothing, man.
That ain't nothing, and that's actually a good segue. Because these picks this week ain't gonna be nothing. Because you know what? It's time to bounce back. I'm tired of catching these black eyes from these amateurs. Ain't that what we call them, Will?
Yes, sir. Losing my ass betting on some young whippersnappers.
Man, you know what? I like that. These young whippersnapper amateurs. I'm sick of y'all. you know. And you know what I'm doing this week? Because you jokers have been losing so much money for me. And, luckily, we're sharp minds, Will. And we've been able to recover with the NFL. But you know what? I'm tired of it. I want to be able to hit both days, Saturday and Sunday. So I kind of want to go outside of the box. And with me, I want to go ahead and crack open my first brewski, because I want to go to a team, Will, that really impressed me last week. And the irony of it is they have the same, mascot nickname as my favorite NFL team, the Falcons. But they couldn't be more, polar opposites of the Atlanta Falcons, because they're the Air Force Falcons, one of the military schools. Shout out to Chip Vaughn, the DB coach, played at Wake Forest with me. Played safety. But Air Force last week had an impressive win against a team y'all know that I like, the Colorado Buffaloes, in Colorado. At Air Force. It was actually on the road. But Air Force's offense is like option on steroids. It's like a spread option. It's crazy. Like, I've never seen anything like it. I thought Army's offense was like pretty impressive when they played Michigan, but Air Force's option attack is like, okay, like I can actually watch this option game and, not be bored to death, because they actually throw it a lot more than, most option teams. But they dominated Colorado, man. And how highly I think of Colorado, Mel Tucker and those guys. And I can tell you this much. Their opponents this week, Boise State, they're going to the blue turf. That blue turf is not scare anybody anymore. Back in the day, with your boy, the Cowboys off OC was there. Kellen Moore was there. Mm-hmm. That's when they was striking fear into people's hearts, upsetting folks. But nobody fears Boise State anymore. And right now, that game is -8.5, which is okay. It already jumps out to me. Anytime I see an 8 on any spread, especially with these amateurs, what you call them, Will? With these who?
I call them the young whippersnappers.
Yeah, with these young whippersnappers, it's glaring to me. And the Air Force football team is going to run the ball over and over and over. And then, oh, wait, let's take a shot downfield. They're going to lull you to sleep. They're going to control the tempo. I think dominating time of possession, any option team. We saw that, Will, with the Army Michigan game, how they dominated and Michigan turned the ball over. Like, I think Boise State right now is in the bottom 25 as far as turnovers go. They've been fumbling the ball a lot. They turned the ball over a lot against Marshall. And it's just something about the Broncos team this year that, they're ranked. They're in the top 25 right now, but their wins have been just okay. And for me, with the way that Air Force looked last week against Colorado, how they just dominated that defense, which I, have a lot of respect for. And I think the true reason why I really love Air Force +8.5, Air Force's defense is super athletic this year. Their back end, their corners and safeties, they actually have a cornerback that's actually getting a lot of looks for the NFL. What's the guy's name? Gosh, I'm drawing a blank on him. I'm gonna give it to you guys for the end of the show.
He plays at Air Force. I have no clue what his name is.
I literally just forgot. But they do. But they also have a DB coach that's played the NFL, Chip Vaughn. So I know he out there coaching them up. But they're just real athletic on the back end. They don't miss tackles too. They're one of the best tackling teams in the nation. And Will, with amateurs, man, that's the difference between games. A lot of times, it's making a play here, stopping the guy on the sideline. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a low-scoring game. Boise State does have a real good defense too, and they haven't faced a defense this good, since last week. Y'all see what I did there? So they're not going to be afraid of the Broncos defense in this blue turf. So I really, really love I love Air Force to barely sneak. I think Boise State pulls it out and beats them just because I think they're going to be riding high off of it. But I think it's going to be like a 24-17 Boise State win, and they cover that plus 8.5. So that's my first pick in our 6-pack of picks on this college football edition of That's a Bet podcast. So any thoughts on that, Will? And what's your next pick?
Well, a couple things there. I heard the word option. As soon as I heard the word option, I got sleepy. So
yeah,
maybe that'll be maybe that's your thought process with Boise. Maybe they'll get a little sleepy on the option. I personally, you got some big cojones because I'm not fading Boise State at Boise State. So I'm gonna pass on the game. But if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably take Boise State just because of their track record at Boise. And Air Force beating Colorado, I know you're high on Colorado, but me personally, I think they're a fraud. I think Nebraska's a fraud.
Hey,
I don't like them.
Hey man, don't be talking about my Buffaloes, bro.
I know you like them, so that's why I say I'm gonna lay off that game. But if I was forced to pick, I would take Boise because I just can't fade them at home, man.
Okay.
I just can't do it, man.
Okay.
So, but overall, I like you, man. You're doing your research and you're sharp on that. So.
Yeah, man. Trying to be like a pencil. I'm trying to be like a number 2 pencil, man.
There we go. Well, my first pick, I don't know, man. It seems like I'm always messing around with USC or a team. I'm always messing with USC or a team in Texas or a team in Utah.
Yep.
The first week I was messing around with Utah going against BYU. Then I was messing around with USC and Stanford. Then I took it and I was betting on BYU last week at USC. Well,
yep.
I'm right back messing around with USC this week.
Oh, here we go, y'all.
Here we go, man. I love fading the Trojans. I faded them last week in promo, and everything that I said was going to happen happened. This is the one I got right out of these 3 punk college football games. This is the one I got right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna fade USC at the Coliseum. Utah minus 3.5 at USC. For me, man, it's true freshman quarterback Keaton Slovis. We've talked about him before.
Yep.
He played well a couple weeks ago against Stanford, looked like a 5-star recruit, but then he regressed to the mean and showed what he really was. He was a 3-star recruit.
Yeah.
And I think it showed last week. He threw 3 picks, and it was just that was just a tough outing for him. We talked about this, how that was going to be tough going to Provo, Utah, and playing BYU. And now Slovis, the quarterback for USC, is going to face arguably the best defense in the Pac-12, as well as the most physical team. And in my opinion, right now in the Pac-12, the best coach. Well, I don't know. It's a toss-up between Kyle Whittingham at Utah and Chris Peterson at Boise State. Or not Boise State, Washington.
Washington, yep.
So I love Kyle Whittingham. His teams historically do not make a lot of mistakes. They don't turn the ball over. And Utah's quarterback, Tyler Huntley, black kid. I like the way he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Completing 78% of his passes. And his running mate, running back, Zach Moss, number 2. He is a stud, averaging 6.5 yards a carry. I love the way he runs the ball. He runs it hard. He's a playmaker. I think he's from Miami.
Yep.
Great player. And I just love Utah's overall brand of football. I don't expect, like we talked about this, I don't expect them to make a lot of mistakes. And also, the revenge factor is there. I know Kyle Whittingham has made his guys aware of this. A couple years ago when they went to the Coliseum, they lost to USC. I think it was a 1-point loss. And so they got that in the back of their heads. And then after I'm going to put Utah to the side. And I'm going to bring USC back to the forefront.
Yeah.
2 words. Clay Helton. Not a good football coach. Very nice guy, but he can't coach my football team. Okay?
Nice guys always finish last.
There we go. Against the spread in his last 30 games, his record is 9-21.
Ooh.
And that's not good at USC.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? So I expect that trend to keep going the way it's been going. I don't like betting against streaks. I like to jump on the streak and bet with it. So I'm a fade Clay Helton and USC. And one more thing I'm going to say. The countdown to Urban Meyer has began. Shout out to Marcus Wilkins, my best friend here, out here in Houston. When Urban Meyer left Ohio State, I told Marcus, I said, give it a year or so. He's going to USC. He wants to, finish his career out on the West Coast, warm weather. He started wearing his welcome out at Ohio State. And just let me be straight up about this. I don't like Urban Meyer. He's a good coach. But I mean, come on, man. Every other year when he gets ready to retire, it's due to health. And then I
Yep,
look on TV, I see the Joker working college football till 10 o'clock at night on Fox.
exactly.
So is it your health, or you want to spend time with your family, or what it is? We know what Urban Meyer is, man. He'll look you in your face and lie to you,
Yep.
but he's a damn good football coach. And so I'm saying it now. Countdown to Urban Meyer is on the way. Clay Helton and USC. Once they lose this game, I think it's going to really start spinning. It's the wheels are going to start churning in California, in LA about the buyout for Clay Helton. So give me Utah minus 3.5.
Okay. The funny thing is, I looked at this game, Will, and I looked at it for a minute. I was ready to take that same bet, but then I just started thinking about Utah at USC. They're gonna be out there trying to mess with the girls, coming from Utah. We all know what that state is built around. I don't want to get into religion, but yeah, they gonna see them cheerleaders with them pom poms and their short skirts, and I just it's just been something weird about Utah USC. So I'm definitely gonna pass on the game. I was leaning Utah with you, but I really couldn't do it. I can't do it. Yeah.
Understandable.
I wanted to though, but yeah, your boy, what's the quarterback name again? He's on the all name team. What's his name? Keaton.
Keaton Slovis.
Yeah, Slovis. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Slovis. All right, he's Slovis to throw. He's Slovis in the pocket. I mean, he flashed, but I think the tape is out on him. So, I'm gonna stay away from that game. Now, Will, who you got for your second pick, man? Go ahead and jump into your second brewski, man. Go and crack it open for us.
I'm staying right here in Texas. I'm riding down the road to College Station. I love Texas A&M minus 4 against Auburn. There you go. That's it. The 12th man. You know
Yeah.
Auburn's quarterback, true freshman Bo Nix. He's going out to College Station this weekend. This is arguably one of the toughest home field advantages in the country.
Yep.
Right? Bo Nix, nice kid. I think he's going to be a good player. 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He hasn't had the chance to experience anything like this. This is going to be different. When they played Oregon, it was a neutral site out in Dallas. I didn't catch a lot of that game, but I think most of the fans were probably for Auburn in that stadium. And so this is just a whole different beast. He's also had the benefit of quarterbacking the team with the 11th ranked rushing attack in the country. 282 yards a game and a strong defense, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, like I said, I like what he's shown me so far. He's got the confidence and the poise to be a great quarterback down the road. But I think this Texas A&M defense, 389 yards of total offense. Any game that Clemson had on offense.
Yeah.
So I like what Texas A&M brings but they definitely have the athletes. And, for me, I think the X factor is Jimbo Fisher. He has not been at Texas A&M long as a
Oh yeah.
man. The revenge factor once again is another key factor. Last year at Auburn, they had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, and Kellen Mond started turning the ball over. They made some, led by Jake Stidham, who's with the Patriots. Man, I mean, it was battle because they were playing in Death Valley, or he'll bounce back and be comfortable at home. And Kellen Mond will make good decisions with the ball, and I expect Texas A&M to easily cover this spread and win against Auburn at home.
Okay. I mean, I personally told myself this week that I wasn't touching any major game this early in the season. I just told myself I don't trust the amateurs. That goes back to me and Will's theory of, you just never know what you're going to get from these jokers. But I'm about to lean one way, though. I definitely would. And I've seen over the years, Texas A&M at home is just a whole different beast. Even if they get down, it's just something they come back and they just play totally different at home. I mean, they to me, they have the strongest home field advantage, I think, in the nation by far. It's not even close. And Jimbo is definitely turning the program around. But kind of like Will said, I think the game is going to hinge upon Kellen Mond's arm and his decision making. So I think that's going to be a key factor right there. But now for me, Will, I want to jump into my second brewski here. I want to go ahead and open up Big Ten conference play for these two teams. Michigan State taking on Northwestern. You guys, did you hear that silence at the end of that? Michigan State versus Northwestern.
You bet.
It
You better
has
get
it
a
has no
Red
ring
Bull
to
because
it.
that one will put you to sleep too.
Yeah, like I just want to let you guys know this isn't sexy at all. There's really no names in this game to that jumps out at you. The biggest names, excuse me, the biggest names in this game. Look, it's already they got my voice cracking. Biggest names in this game are the head coaches. That's as easy as I can put it. You know, you have a coach in Michigan State, Mr. D'Antonio. He's trying to get his 100th win at Michigan State, or excuse me, 110th win, which would make him the all-time winningest coach at Michigan State. Excuse me, and then he's going against Mr. Fitzgerald, as they call him, Pat Fitzgerald, who's legendary. You know, all Northwestern team, Hall of Fame Northwestern, at his alma mater coaching. I can tell you guys right now, both teams are horrible. They're not good. Both teams do sport top 20 so far in college football as far as yards given up, yards per play. We saw last week. I don't know if you guys. One of my picks was Arizona State, Michigan State under their total. That game went 10-7, and literally it was only reason it was 10-7. They had to have a last-second field goal. Arizona State, Michigan State missed one at the gun, but I mean they could have went to 12 overtimes and still got under for that game. Michigan State's defense is what they always are. They're always going to be elite. They're always going to slow down Big Ten teams. That's just what they do. But this week coming in Northwestern, they're coming off of a win against UNLV. I think it was 34-10. Impressive win. But UNLV just isn't anybody to get excited about. Because first week of the season, Northwestern looked horrible against Stanford. I don't know if you guys remember that game. And Stanford has looked horrible since that game. So I really love the under 38 in this game. You see how low that is? It's under 40, and I literally think these teams won't score 30 points. And my biggest reason why I think it's going to go under, Michigan State had about 4 major injuries against Arizona State. It was a real, defensive battle. Their offensive line got beat up. So they left Kevin Jarvis, which is their starting left guard, Luke Campbell, who is their right guard. Those guys are both out for 6 to 8 weeks with major injuries for Michigan State. So not only is Michigan State offensive unit, who on the year has only put up 33 points total, not only did they lose their top 2 guards, but they already were struggling before. They have a young quarterback. They're trying to, get him involved. And it's the same thing on the opposite side, y'all. Northwestern, they're down 2 offensive linemen. They have a young quarterback. I think Will mentioned him on the pod before. The first week, he talked about how Northwestern, trying to get this
From Clemson.
a transfer. I think it was from the transfer from Clemson. He got out there and he looked like he was what should have never left Clemson.
Got his
Just
degree.
went ahead and
I tell you
graduated.
right now, he looked like he's gonna be selling insurance in a couple years.
For real, he's gonna be wearing khakis like
he went to
Harbaugh.
Northwestern, so I won't go as
but
far
for
to
me,
say he'll be driving a beer truck. I'm not gonna say that since he went to Northwestern. So
yeah, he'll have a little something on him. But literally, I think in order for these teams to go over that 38, I think both quarterbacks have to be perfect. Like 2 or 3, incompletions. I think both guys have to be able to make plays. I just don't see them doing it against these defenses. These defenses are very good. Schematically, Mark D'Antonio's defense do not give up big plays. Schematically, Northwestern's offense do not generate big plays. So you put those two in one pot and mix it together, you have a whole bunch of nothing. So for me, it literally jumped out at me. This was probably my best bet in college this weekend. Michigan State, Northwestern, under 38, take it to the bank. I mean, I literally have 100% confidence in this pick, man. It's bottom line, I think it's going to go way under. So, what you think about that, Will? You mean, I know you probably sleep over there. You up?
Well, I'm good.
Well, okay, you up? Okay.
If I had to pick, I like that.
I was just checking,
but you never know with these young whippersnappers. They're so inconsistent. We'll bet the house on it, and they come out and be in a shootout. You know what I mean? But everything.
Yeah, that's what's stopping me
Right.
from
Everything
taking 5
points you,
units.
you know, in the direction of taking the under. With what I've
Yep.
seen on both sides of the ball with those guys. They both play defense like to muddy the game up and just, not make mistakes. So I like that under pick.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So it's and it's crazy saying that pick. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into my last brewski here, and this pick right here is kind of one of those. I call this my letdown pick, just to give you guys my shiny title of this pick. This is the letdown pick, in the sense that we're gonna go to the Virginia Cavaliers hosting the Old Dominion. What's their mascot?
Monarchs.
I think they're great. Yes, the Monarchs. That's what it is. I always forget they.
Because they sorry,
But
that's why.
Virginia. Yeah, exactly. Virginia had a great win against Florida State. Let me say that again. Virginia had a win against Florida State, because I can't even say a great win because Florida State just isn't Florida State. They don't have the same, moxie and lure to them.
And Willie
But
Taggart's coaching.
Virginia did rush the field. Yeah, Willie. I call him Willie. Willie Tagless. Because he's horrible. I mean, I just don't get it. But Virginia, in their eyes, they haven't beat Florida State, I think, at Virginia or something in 7 years. It's been a while since they beat Florida State, even with Florida State being down. They came out, handled business, and they actually barely covered the spread, I think it was. But Old Dominion this year, if you remember last year, they upset Virginia Tech. So they're not not accustomed to coming to somebody's house or taking on the big dog and knocking them off. But Old Dominion, they actually went to VTech this year and covered a 21-point spread at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. And we know Virginia Tech and Virginia are rivals. They've seen each other a lot. But Old Dominion, man, I saw they have two, I think, pro receivers on their team. Now, they have a young quarterback that struggles to get them the ball, but when those two guys touch the ball, man, I mean, they're special. And to have a 29.5, they're a 29.5 point dog on the road, which seems a little too steep for me after, Virginia coming off of that high. They've had a week of walking around campus, everybody patting them on the back. And, I really don't even want to go too far in detail with this one, just simply because this is one of those calls where I feel like the number jumped out at me. The matchup was glaring. And I saw Old Dominion last week against VTech really hold their own on the road offensively. Because to me, to cover a spread like this number, especially in college at 29.5, you have to show me something on offense. And they have a 1,000-yard back they returned from last year. They have 1,000-yard receiver. And then they had another young freshman receiver. And I'm sorry, I don't have the names, but it's the Monarchs. I wasn't really trying to dive into the Monarchs.
I don't even think they
just keeping them
1,000. Do they even talk about them in Virginia?
I don't even know. I don't even think they do. But I think Bronco Mendenhall better do his thing getting his team ready. Because if he doesn't, not only is Old Dominion going to cover this, but this is my upset alert of the weekend. That I may even take a little bit on the money line with Old Dominion. So give me ODU plus 29.5, and this is my dog of the weekend. And Virginia, you're on high upset alert here. So what you think about that, Will, man? And what you got for your last brewski?
Nice pick, man. You better than me. I don't know too much about ODU, so of course I would probably take the square angle and take UVA just because I don't know much about ODU, but your handicap was strong, so I like that. I like it.
Okay, gotcha. What you got for your last?
Texas Longhorns minus 5.5 against Oklahoma State. Now, over the last, I'd say from 1998 to 09, Texas owned this series. I'm talking about they won 12 straight. But ever since 2014, I'm a man. I'm 40 years old. Mike Gundy. The brilliant offensive mind that he is, they've been able to dominate Texas the last few meetings. And check this out: 2-7 straight up, and 3-6 against the spread is what Texas is since 2010 against Oklahoma State. I think Texas is going to find a way to get a win and cover in Austin. They played the last home game they
I
played was
like.
against LSU, and they lost that game. They didn't lose that game because they were just outclassed. They lost that game because they made mistakes, dropped touchdowns in the end zone, turned the ball over. So I think Tom Herman, being the coach that he is, made his guys aware of that. It also helped them understand that, look, this is our home field. We can't lose any more games in Austin. That's the first thing. Number two, gentlemen, everything is still in front of us. If we went out, including beating Oklahoma, and then come back and win the Big 12 championship, we are in the college football playoff. Everything is still right there
Facts.
for Texas to take care of business. So I think that they come out motivated in Austin. Austin, I don't know how great of a home field advantage it is, but they are playing in Austin, and that stadium seats, 105,000, 110,000. So I think they're gonna come out with their,
Yeah.
hair on fire. Oklahoma State, they usually reload. They got a new quarterback in there. I love Mike Gundy as a coach, but I think that streak of beating Texas comes to an end this week. And the one of the best things I like about Texas, they can play any style of. Right now, they can play any style of football. I watched them last year. They
Yeah.
went back and forth with Kyler Murray in a shootout. 50 points scored against Oklahoma. And then I watched them in the Sugar Bowl just run the ball down Georgia's throat. They can pound you, and they can also go up and down the field with you. They had a cakewalk last week against Rice. They won 48-13. That wasn't really a real test. That was just a tune-up for this week. The only thing that kind of worries me about Texas is their pass defense. They've been giving up 337 yards a game. I think they understand the sense of urgency this week against Oklahoma State. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice and take Texas -5.5 at home. There we go.
Hook 'em horns. I see. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like it. I don't. I'm one of those people. I really don't like to put any bad juice on any play at all. So I'm just gonna say I don't like it, and I don't like it because I just don't trust Texas. Like they get up for the big games, and they got up last week for LSU, and I think that took a lot of wind out of their sails. Yes, the season is in front of them. I agree. Tom Herman probably saying the right things. But Oklahoma State has yet to have like that moment this year where they can say, "Hey, we're still OSU," And I'm be honest with you, man. The one reason why I love Oklahoma State, and I would lean that way, if I bet it because I'm passing on it. Hey, man, Mike Gundy got a mullet, bro. That man got a mullet. He's 40. He got a mullet, and he say he ain't cutting that mullet until they lose a game. And he said he don't plan on cutting that mullet no time soon.
Be bald after this weekend.
Look, we're hoping he gonna be bald headed because, I ain't never seen a head coach leading a group of young men with a mullet.
Business in the front, party in the back, baby.
If party in the back, he be lit too, man. Mike Gundy is the man. He's 40, so if I lean one way, I would lean the other way, opposite of Willie, baby, just because. I'm anxious. I just want to make sure Texas is over that LSU loss, and literally that's probably my only reason for leaning that way. Because it's these amateurs is like it's like they broke up with their girlfriend, and they now what they gonna do? You're gonna be down and out that whole week and that kind of stuff. So that's the angle I play on that. But I like it, Will. I'll let you have it, but I can't rock with you on that one.
Action Network. You'll see all the picks of what we got in, and we'll see how we finish.
Yep. Make sure y'all go follow us, man, because we definitely give away some nice teasers and parlays on there too. So, just to give you a quick recap, for my picks. So this week, my best bet college football weekend is the Michigan State Northwestern game, under 38 points for that game, and that's Michigan State at Northwestern. I like that to go under. Two teams struggling on offense, defense. Defense is going to reign supreme there. My other bet, the Air Force Academy Falcons, +8.5. Some people may have it at +8. but plus 8.5 at Boise State. I think they go in there and barely squeeze out a cover there on the blue turf against the Boise State Broncos. And my last pick of the weekend, which is actually my best dog of the weekend, I like Old Dominion Monarchs traveling to the Virginia Cavaliers to cover that 29.5 point spread there. And if you want to put a little bit of cash on the actual win, I got a weird feeling in my gut that ODU is going to give Virginia all they can handle. So ODU, Virginia, plus 29.5. Michigan State at Northwestern, under 38. And Air Force Academy at Boise State, plus 8.5. Will, what you got for your recap?
Recapping my 3 picks, I'm going to go from the bottom back to the top. Texas Longhorns, minus 5.5 against Oklahoma State. Texas has their whole season in front of them. The sense of urgency is high out here in Austin. They understand they got to win out if they want to get to the college football playoff. And at the end of the day, that's what Tom Herman was brought in to the University of Texas to do. Get to the playoff and win a national championship. Haven't done that since, 2006 with Vince Young? So,
yeah,
that's the motive, the national championship. So they got to win this weekend, and I think the sense of urgency will be there. Second game, staying right here in Texas, College Station going down to the 12th man. The Texas A&M Aggies minus 4 against Auburn. I love Bo Nix, the true freshman quarterback at Auburn, but I think this is a little bit too much of a tall task for him. I love the Texas A&M defense. I think they'll be able to slow down that Auburn running attack. And I love Kellen Mond to make big-time plays this week for Jimbo Fisher, who is 7-1 against the spread at home when he was the favorite. So I love that. And then my best bet of the week, Utah, minus 3.5 at the LA Coliseum against USC. Every time I'm going to fade a joker named Keaton Slovis that plays quarterback. I just can't take that serious. And then when I turn and look at the sideline and I see Clay Helton and see such a nice guy, he can't coach for me. He can't. The countdown to Urban Meyer begins after this week. I love Zachary Moss and the quarterback, Mr. Tyler Huntley, to get it done with the revenge factor against the Trojans. Minus 3.5, Utah. Take it to the bank.
There it is. Y'all already know, man. So that was our 6-pack of picks. And we appreciate you guys checking it. But hold up. Will, you hear that, man?
Good music, man.
Hey, that's my jam, man. I love when that beat come on, man. So you know what time that means. When you hear the tunes, it's time to get up out of here. Real quick. At Lockett 2Ts. That's my handle on Instagram and Twitter. Will, where you at again, man?
At Group 13 Sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Action Network.
Got you. Yep. Same thing for me on Action Network as well. Follow the podcast at That's a Bet Podcast. But hey, Will, I don't want to leave him, waiting too much.
I gotta go in there and kiss my wife, man. She waiting on me, but ladies and gentlemen,
she waiting.
If you see a bet, make a bet. That's a bet.
That's a bet. Hey, for Lockett 2Ts, that's Willie, baby, man. Will Judson. We'll see you guys next time on That's a Bet Podcast. Peace.
Willie, baby.